And there we are, we're live. Because Gary insisted.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than being undead.
Mm-hmm.
We're all so excited here in the UK because today's Rebellious Colonials Day, where we all have to work twice as hard to make up for the missing taxes.
Yeah, splitters.
That's right. Canada split and the United States split.
Canada didn't split.
No, I
we asked politely.
You asked politely,
and Queen Victoria said yes.
We just were tired of partaking in your opium trade.
Something like that.
Well, particularly as you could throw hemp into the Hudson River instead.
Okay, I have no idea how we got into politics, but
it wasn't about tea, mate. It was hemp. Anyway, what are we painting?
Highlanders for me.
So you're doing Highlanders.
I am painting rebellious colonials.
Uh-huh. You mean Confederates then?
Yeah.
Right.
They're so twice rebels, as rebellious as normal colonials.
Rebels within the rebels. Yeah. How more rebellious can you get?
They're so rebellious they're coming back the other way.
So ACW 10mm?
Yes, Pendragon. I zoomed the camera in a little bit so as it shows less keyboard and more figure, but I'm not entirely sure how clear it is.
I'm painting English Civil War Highlanders.
Yep, rebels.
Yeah, more rebels.
I'm doing Brunswickers, who were also rebelling against Napoleon's domination of Germany.
A theme?
Yeah,
aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
I am doing Africa Corps.
So no rebellions.
Yeah.
So you're the only one from the country that did rebel, and you're not doing anything rebellious.
Absolutely.
Although Rommel was implicated in the plot to assassinate Hitler, which makes him a rebel, as soon as he led the Africa Corps. So I've got your back, Bob.
I think you're pulling a straw.
Yeah, that's a bit of a thin connection there.
It is.
I was just reading the other day, though, that one of the reasons that particular rebellion failed was because Rommel had been in a staff car that got strafed by the RAF a couple of days before.
And that was when he was taking his shoes back for his wife.
Sorry? Yes, he was taking his shoes back to his wife, and it affected the rebellion because the theory is that him being a strong and decisive leader would perhaps have made the rebels move a bit faster because they were a little bit there was a bit of messing about going on because people couldn't decide what to do.
Well, you didn't want to be on the wrong side of all that.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you actually think Rommel would have been part of the plot to assassinate Hitler?
Well, the thing I just read said that he was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was on
I think he would have taken over if it had been successful.
Yeah. I'm on a couple of different Facebook groups, and
surely they're telling the truth.
No, this is something unrelated. Talking about Rommel, but it was saying that Rommel had given an account of during the Blitzkrieg that they had overrun a French infantry position, and he had ordered a French colonel to board this tank and to act as a guide to, like, take them through the rest of the French defences or some such. And the French general or the French officer had refused 3 times, so Rommel shot him.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular forum group were trying to defend that, saying that it wasn't a war crime and that the colonel should just have done what he was told.
Because he asked him 3 times.
Yeah, But as a prisoner of war, you're not obliged to aid the enemy military forces in any way.
No, you give name, rank,
And you're protected from, you're protected from having to do such through the Geneva Convention. So by shooting someone,
so many countries in World War II follow the Geneva Convention.
Well, it's just more a point that Rommel gets a reputation for being a non-Nazi and a good guy, but by his own admission, he was a war criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he regretted it. I don't know.
Doesn't matter if he did. He still
it still makes you a war criminal. Yeah,
he's still a war criminal. I'm sure all the Nazis regretted things after they got caught.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my granddad was a war criminal because he shot a bloke who was surrendering.
Yeah.
Which in Geneva, under the Geneva Convention, means that is a war crime.
Yeah. That happened a lot.
Hmm.
I think all over it happened.
Well, I mean, the whole point of the war crimes things was to actually stop that happening. And in the heat of battle, it's awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
But he still did it. And that's the only war story he told us.
Really?
Yeah, really.
My grandfather's war stories weren't that exciting. It was, I flew for endless hours over the Atlantic Ocean in my bomber. And a couple of times we depth charged what we thought was a German U-boat over and over again. So that he just did convoy protection for the task forces cutting across the Atlantic to go help you lot.
You say that with such vehemence, Dennis.
I don't really care.
We were all on the same side, mate.
Yeah, us and the Russians were all on the same side.
Yeah, when Britain stood alone, apart from our help from Canada.
Worst part is it was
Australia.
Japanese fishermen doing research.
Yeah. Painting Scotsmen. Scottish people.
What are you going to use these Scotsmen for?
Well, ostensibly, this is to finish my Saga Scots, but really, it's dual purpose because I'm going to use them in my English Civil War Scottish army as well. So these archers that I finished the other day are going to be militia archers. So I got 12 of them, and then these guys here are Highlanders in advance. I'm using them as my well, they're just Highlanders in the Civil War game, but I'm just using them as wait a minute. How is it that I have 2 bagpipers?
They multiplied when you went looking.
Because one isn't annoying enough.
Yeah, that's true.
You really need to keep an eye on bagpipers because they're like gremlins. If they get wet, then
Wet with beer.
that's why there's so many of them in Scotland, because it rains all the time and they just keep popping up.
Alrighty. I'll just have to put him in another unit.
Plus, if you have any livestock for scatter terrain, keep them separate because the bagpipers like to procreate with the little sheep.
These aren't New Zealanders.
Or New Englanders. You're walking a dodgy line there.
So you're painting English Civil War Scots who could also be used in the Napoleonic Wars as well?
No, in Saga.
Oh, in Saga.
Yeah. In
So
Saga,
English-
there's a
English-
Scottish army.
So English Civil War and Saga.
Mm-hmm.
And the technology hasn't really advanced since Saga to
Well,
the
in
English Civil War.
Saga, I'm not using anybody with muskets.
Right.
Apart from that, it's swords and shields and whatnots.
And this is the same Scotland that claims that it's invented everything from time immemorial, apart from paper, money, and gunpowder.
I don't know about
I
that.
rest my case.
I'm not
I'm
sure
of
what your
Scottish
case is.
descent, but I don't know.
Well, the case is, to be fair, Scotland has invented hundreds of inventions. Some of the greatest minds known to humanity.
Yep.
Macadam, tarmac roads, John Logie Baird, James Watt, just to name 3. But between the Saga era and the English Civil War, they couldn't get a better sword.
I'm sure it's a better sword, but like in a game with rolling dice, it's a sword. A melee attack is a melee attack.
I can almost sense James's hackles rising.
Well, you're just trying to get him going.
All I can say is that, even with a crap sword, we still beat the English. So,
yeah, indeed.
Here, we did too.
Several times. Battle of Preston Pans, to name just one.
Despite what the Kinren thing I went to the other day said.
So stick that in your opium pipe and smoke it.
And don't anger a man when he's highlighting Confederates. It's a dangerous game, Gary.
Johnny Reb.
Well, this might cheer you up. I had some very bad news today. So I'm quite upset about it.
What's that?
It was meant to be my mother-in-law's funeral tomorrow, and she's gone and cancelled it.
Zing. I knew it was going somewhere like that.
I was walking through Epsom the other day with the wife, and we spotted her mother being beaten up by 6 huge blokes. And she said, "Aren't you going to lend a hand?" I said, "No, 6 should be enough."
The love oozes out of you.
This is a man whose own mother shouted at me on Facebook for making a joke.
Yeah.
Really? Seriously?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yep.
That's pretty epic.
I think the final expression was, "If that James comes up here, I'm going to stot his head against a wall."
That's awesome.
Which means to bang his head against a wall, really. If you stot something, it means you bang it.
She doesn't know I'm up here anyway.
No. Oh, she'll hunt you down. She has special skills.
She's Liam Neeson.
I think living
Yeah, she is Liam Neeson, yeah.
I live south of Sunderland, so I should be okay.
You should be all right. Even though our grandmother came from there, so she knows her way around.
I don't think they travel this far south.
No,
I actually thought I'd get these. Go ahead.
I know she can find her way around there because she's got a map of all the dole offices.
So does everyone in Newcastle.
Yeah.
That only works assuming that people from North America know what the dole is.
Who cares what those rebellious colonials know?
Welfare, then. Welfare.
There you go.
We call it the dole.
Well then, allow me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying people from Newcastle are always on the dole?
No, Sunderland.
Oh, Sunderland. So how do you confuse somebody from Sunderland? Put his welfare check inside his work boots.
That's true.
So you're saying bagpipes are black?
I'd have thought so. All the ones I've seen are black.
Like the pipes themselves or the bag?
The pipes and the bag.
Well, that's a boring paint job then, isn't it?
The bag is normally, the modern ones are normally tartan, and the chanters, the pipes can be black or can be brown.
Mm.
Okay, well, I'm not going to worry so much about
woodwind instruments, so they can be either.
And they tend to have ivory before it was banned on the bits that go around the pipes, the round bits on the chanters.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would have had the ivory that far back, though.
No.
Might have been walrus.
No, they hadn't.
Which is ivory.
No, they didn't have walrus back then either, Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, all the pipes I've seen that I can think of are kind of modern, so I dare say it was probably a leather bag, because the air part is obviously like made from something that's airtight, so it would be leather, possibly.
I'm not going to worry about how it was back in the day. I'll just make it so people can recognize it as a bagpipe.
Yeah.
In which case I'll
nowadays it's like a tartan patterned. Whatever the tartan would be for the clan would be on the pipes.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I got to make that
Normally. I'm no expert.
I've seen Irish pipes which are
What are you talking about? You're Scottish. How are you not an expert?
I have neither played the pipes nor been too close to them, other than watching bands march past and stuff.
The only bagpipes I know is that AC/DC plays them during It's a Long Way to the Top. It's kick ass.
When you gotta rock and roll. It's also on School of Rock.
I'll look at my wedding photos.
Red Hot Chili Pipers are pretty good.
Unsubscribe.
that was out of left field. I like it.
Oh dear, oh lord.
The chap in my wedding pictures, the piper I had, is his pipe sack. His pipe bag was just a plain kind of reddish brown, but he had a red kilt on.
Okay.
He was also from Durham, so I don't really think he was a
Southerner.
He wasn't an actual Scotsman, but he could play the pipes and I can't. So
still a Southerner.
Have you seen them though, Gary?
What, pipers?
Red Hot Chili Pipers.
I have seen the Red Hot Chili Pipers, yeah. They were sporting Fleetwood Mac at Wembley Arena.
Oh, were they? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Fleetwood Mac.
You know what? There's that makes sense because Fleetwood Mac, the Stevie Nicks, she sounds like she is a bagpipe when she goes.
I was just going to say, James, you can go your own way, mate.
Oh, good one.
Burn.
Well, given that I don't know any of their music, that means absolutely nothing to me. So it was kind of wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, if you were watching this, please come on and save us. Save us.
Bill can't save us now.
I'm sure it's just rumours.
Oh, God.
But we'll never break the chain. And if you won't leave me now.
I'm guessing that he's quoting film or song titles, but I honestly have no idea.
That he is.
Mm-hmm. I have a book signed by a bloke who used to live around the corner from here, who was in Fleetwood Mac. And he signed it to Gary and his lovely son, Alex. Lots of love. And,
what's your son's name?
Alex.
All right.
Good Scottish name. But yeah, I used to know a bloke who was in Fleetwood Mac.
Was there only 3 people in Fleetwood Mac?
There was about 50 people in Fleetwood Mac.
Mick Fleetwood, Stevie Nicks,
Mhm.
guy with the curly hair, the guitar player.
Peter Green.
My favourite one that they did was Never Gonna Give You Up.
No, that was Rick Astley. I think you mean Never Going Back Again.
No, I mean never. Never Gonna Give You Up.
All right.
You're terrible. Now we're going to get cease and desists from the estates of...
It's just Gary doing his product placement again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of product placement...
Speaking of product placement, you can actually buy the book by
I want to get
Bob
a
Brunning.
nice coffee cup from Las Vegas.
For some reason, we're locked on me. Hold on.
Sponsored by Elvis.
Let's do the usual creeping death.
Oh, we were locked on.
Yeah, we were
doing-
locked on.
Highlanders.
Healanders.
Anybody else but me?
Is that
Bueller.
Fleetwood Mac song?
Bueller.
Anyone else
Tusk,
but me?
Tusk.
Finish this. I will put my camera on and show you guys.
It'd help if you could speak up, Bob, as well, because you've gone really quiet again.
All right. No, as soon as I finish this one guy, I will show you what I'm working on.
Okay. Gash, what are you doing?
Well, I've got this old albatross around my neck. Come on, Bob, you must know that one. I'm doing Brunswickers and finishing up some Austrian ammunition wagons and some haystacks.
Made from real hay?
Well, no, coconut or coconut hair.
Oh, yeah. So in 5 years' time, it will have rotted.
Probably. But you know what they say? You will never break the chain. And if you won't leave
Unsubscribe.
me now...
I honestly don't know what colors to do next on these random dudes.
We seem to have a theme when we do these live ones. We had the Trumpton episode. We had the product placement one. This one will probably be the Fleetwood Mac episode.
That's a terrible episode.
I hate musical episodes. Can we skip this one?
Agreed.
Even though it sold 60 zillion records.
Yeah, but I've never heard of them.
You haven't got a copy of Rumours in your house.
I'm pretty sure I don't have a copy of any music in my house. Amy might, but I don't.
That's like saying you don't have a copy of Bat Out of Hell.
Pretty sure I don't have that either.
Or Frampton Comes Alive.
Okay,
Now
this
you're
isn't
just-
this is
now
the
you're-
70s.
You're just making shit up now, Gary.
No, I'm not. No, these are the most
No.
popular albums owned in people's houses.
Nah.
Frampton Comes Alive is one of them. Rumours is another one. Bat Out of Hell is another one.
Some ABBA one, I forget which one.
ABBA Gold, probably. Or Arrival. Arrival. I think it's Arrival. It's the main one people have.
Right, hold on.
Mike
I'm gonna-
Oldfield's Tubular Bells as well. Everybody's got a copy of that.
I'm going to check, and I'm pretty sure that she's going to let me down. But let me just go and ask. Just a second.
Bob, surely you've got a copy of Bat Out of Hell.
Or used
I
to.
don't. Well, not anymore. It's right.
Not anymore, but you've
I have a
bought it.
digital copy. Yes.
And surely everybody's got Dark Side of the Moon, for God's sake.
No, we don't have any. Unless you count access to the internet.
Yeah.
No, we don't count.
It's a generation
Old
thing.
school cassettes.
This is a civilized household.
Have you ever used the cassette, James?
A cassette?
Yes.
Yes. Though I did mark
mixtapes.
I did mark the passing of at least one technology when many years ago now, probably just after the year 2000, I was at a LAN party, which we had lots of computers there, and most of the guys who were present worked in IT, and someone said, "Does anyone have a floppy disk?" And there was blank looks all around the room.
Good God. What is wrong with these nerds?
Remember, I remember load star.star from Commodore 64 days.
This will get nerdy now. CD /CD ...
Yep. EMM 386, trying to get that to work so I can run like start.
Those were the days, mate. Yeah.
Gary's still painting miniatures from those eras.
I've still got the same paint.
In fact, some of
those bottle tops are probably from drinks that haven't been used since the 1980s. It's that Diet Tab.
I was just going to say that the plastic used for some of the floppy disks might actually be better quality than the Airfix miniatures that he's working with.
Sacrilege.
You know what? I have to agree with him on that one.
Speak up, Bob.
Have to agree with him on that one.
I don't think the problem was with Bob's volume. I think we just have to switch him off and on again.
No, it's Bob's fault.
Reboot him. Do a check disc.
Format, are you sure?
Format, are you sure? Oh, yes.
Because it's colonial rebellion day, he's been rebellious by being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Any minute now, he's going to shout freedom and log off.
Oh, that's you.
That's rebooting. That's rebooting.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are too much.
It's okay. We'll know if Dennis is going to leave because he asked permission politely first.
Like a true Canadian.
Yep.
Kim Jong-il.
There was joking around when they had that, the world record sniper shot of 3.5 kilometers, and they're like, "Well,
all right."
And they're like, "Well, if it's a Canadian sniper that did that, did they then send another shot with a note attached that says, 'Sorry about that, eh?'"
Excuse me, guys.
Well, the American sniper guy did 2 miles, didn't he?
No, it was a British guy. It was a British guy. Did 2 miles. We did 2.2.
Right.
And there's video apparently of it. Not that it's public, but no, it's drone footage. So they have it on camera somewhere.
Well, it's not the point of snipers anyway.
Well, no, it's causing a big deal here because in Canada they're like, we're definitely not sending anybody over to Iraq. We're definitely only there for training and advising. And then this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, lots of training and advising when you just wax a guy who's leaning up against a cement wall from 3.5 kilometers away. Bullet took almost 10 seconds to get there.
Well, the Russian guy...
No loitering.
He's loitering.
And
the guy in Stalingrad shot about 250, didn't he?
Oh, I'm sure, but these guys were trying for long shots. That they tried another shot that was about the same distance to another group of guys, but the shot went in between them because all 3 guys just ducked for cover and decided to call it a day. Apparently. Yeah, I'm just painting random colors onto random spots here. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah.
Yeah, the guy in Stalingrad was called Vasily Zaitsev, and he killed officially 225 people.
There's a guy in Finland who killed way more than that, the White Death.
Mm-hmm.
Got his jaw shot off. Then they fashioned him a wooden one. He kept going. Trying to remember the guy's name. It's some weird Finnish name. But his nickname was the White Death. And he iced like probably 600 Germans.
Mm.
He was just some hunter guy, so he was really good at just, sitting out in the snow, and they would look for his breath in the cold, and he'd be chewing snow, so that his breath wouldn't give him away. He wore a all white tunic with a white ski mask, and he only shot at officers
against a white background as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean in the
officers.
The First World War and the Second World War, the best British snipers were South Africans, allegedly, because they were,
they were already used to shooting at people.
They were used to shooting at people, and also, could fire at long range across the veldt.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't shooting. They weren't shooting elephants either.
No, they were shooting all sorts of things, but they're very good at it. That's not a myth in the First World War, Second World War, but in the First World War, without a doubt, the South Africans were brought over to do that. And I've heard this from many reenacting people as well, that the best snipers were South African Boers, because that's what they used to do. They learned to shoot at the age of about 2 or 3. So it's part of their upbringing, their heritage.
So that sounds so American.
Well, I mean, it's
age of 2 to shoot people.
It's not dissimilar. Well, they weren't shooting people.
No. But what I mean is, it sounds like something Americans would, like the stereotype of Americans. Oh yeah, they've been shooting people since they were 3 years old. I don't know why this green ochre is just a nice, weird brown. Oh shoot! I forgot to put the green on this dude.
You're just jealous you can't play with guns.
Yes, I'm real jealous. Our murder rate is probably 100 times lower than yours, and we only have 10 times the population. Or you only have 10 times the population. Trust me, we're not jealous. Your murder rate is along par with Somalia, the Yemen, and Afghanistan.
And Manchester.
And Manchester.
No, over here they use knives. Which are freely available. Yeah.
Here's a question, actually. I've seen the movie Football Factory.
Yeah.
And that seems far-fetched, but then I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's probably not far-fetched. Is it that bad, the hooliganism, or was it that bad back in the day?
It was in the 70s, yeah. It's not that bad now at all. No, people are very civilized going to football now because the price of the tickets is so exorbitant. For a start.
Wasn't the Lord of the Rings guy in A hooligan film?
Yeah, Elijah Woods is in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's some like an American hooligan film is like a British American Civil War film. It's like they have no business doing it. Yes, Frodo, you know a whole lot about soccer riots.
And yet they put Daniel Day-Lewis, an Irishman, in The Last of the Mohicans
Yes.
because he knows so much about Native Americans.
Well, it's like Kevin Costner being anything. He can't really act. It's the same tone of voice. No, he can't do any accents.
Imagine that if Sean Connery and Michael Caine were given a variety of roles. I'm not burying another Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Today, comrades, we sail into history. Imagine that. That's the Chicago way. They pull a knife, you pull a gun. They put one of yours in the hospital, you put one in the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Yeah.
You've got that down well, Gary.
Thank you. I can do the Highlander one as well. When he's playing the Spanish bloke, Ramirez.
That's right.
We call that a short. This is a short. It's called the quickening. One comes in, one goes out.
Yeah, but that's Thunderdome.
Yeah, I know. That's two goes in, one comes in. But, you know, he's made a lot of money, as has Michael Caine.
I love the film Zulu. I was shocked that that was him at first. I was like, wait a minute, is that Michael Caine? I was like, oh my God, it is. He didn't have his trademark accent.
No. Still making your mud pies, old boy.
What the deuce is wrong with that man, I say?
Come back, Ardendorf. We need you.
And then the guy who used to play M in all the James Bonds, he was the Dutch preacher that leaves them. Says, "You're all going to die."
Jack Hawkins. Yeah.
I was like, that's M. I was expecting Moneypenny. I do not want to be painting these guys.
Green, that's what it is.
Oh my God, it's almost 6. Are you kidding me? I was hoping to get these guys finished tonight, but sounds like they're going to be done tomorrow night instead. I got a couple errands I need to run and eat. Sorry, I have to eat and then run errands, not eat errands.
Yeah, well, my project for this month is to do a windmill.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I'm getting there.
And yet you're not actually doing a windmill.
I'm not doing it right now, no. I'm crafting half of it at work, which is going to be the cupola and the sails.
Doing it at work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's classic.
Mm-hmm. Well, things I've lulled them into a false sense of security at work. They say, "What are you doing at the moment?" So I'm making a windmill. Oh, show us. Well, what am I going to do now? And they're quite fascinated by this. That I can actually craft something with my bare hands.
Nice.
The thing is, you get students coming in, and they're doing accountancy, economics, or whatever, bored out of their skulls, and they know that they can come and see me and say, "Oh, what's Gary doing this week? Oh, he's making a windmill. Oh, he's making a limber. Oh, he's making this."
So you're known as the guy who who fucks the dog. That's what you're saying.
He's the guy that you can buy the good shit off of.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
But true.
Because you say, what you
By the
working
way,
on? Wink, wink.
What Dennis has just come up with there is a Canadian expression, which doesn't actually mean that animals are harmed.
Oh, that's not Canadian. It might be North American. Maybe it is Canadian. I don't know.
I've only heard Canadians say it.
Well, then maybe it is Canadian.
Mm-hmm. When I heard it was shagging the dog.
No, I had an old boss. He used to say fog duckers. And of course, it's like, oh yeah, those guys are lazy. They're just a bunch of fog duckers.
Yeah.
Of course, you reverse the letters.
So I'd like to apologise to people tuning in that we are not into bestiality.
There's nobody tuning in.
Well,
It's just
imagine there was. Supposing there was.
All the lawyers. Think of the lawyers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those guys are a bunch of fog
James
duckers.
was having a go at me last week because I had bloody Alexa on, and he said Google or listen to every fucking word we're saying.
Yeah, all the lawyers that are tuning in because of all the product placement from last episode, right?
Yeah.
You can actually look and see if somebody's watching, right?
Well, no, but like later. Yeah, there's live views. Oh, yeah. I remember the first time I came on here, there was some sort of chat. And nobody was keeping tabs on it, much like now.
Actually, I think you'll find that I have the chat open.
Oh, well, color me impressed.
Because I am a consummate professional.
Yes, professional.
Alexa,
so what
play
did you do
some
at work today?
bagpipes.
I couldn't find any bagpipe songs.
Okay, Alexa,
Oh.
play A Scottish Soldier.
Here's a sample of A Scottish Soldier by Andy Stewart.
Victorious, but now he's sighing, his heart is crying.
There we go.
Green hills of Tyrol.
I'm
Beat on
subscribed.
those green hills are not Highland hills, or the Island
Alexa,
hills.
stop. Alexa, play Donald, Where's Your Trousers?
Here's a sample of Donald, Where's Your Trousers by Andy Stewart.
Andy
When I
Stewart.
was feared that I would fall for a honey on my trousers, let the wind blow high, let the wind blow low, across the sea and the sky go. All the lassies say hello.
If there was any viewers, there aren't any more.
Now I went down to London town.
Alexa, stop.
And I
Gary, stop, please.
Wow, dude.
All the lassies say hello.
And all the gamers say goodbye.
Hey, Donald, unsubscribe.
Oh, man.
Good, clean fun.
Here's a pro tip, James. If you don't know what color to paint something, you know what color you paint it? German field gray. It's just the perfect random middle color for anything. It's not gray. It's not green.
I just paint everything brown.
Even Hyman does.
Brown.
If you don't know the words to a song, you just say watermelon, and it looks like you're singing along.
Donald Watermelon.
Yeah, but try singing the same thing. Watermelon, watermelon.
I know I listen to metal, so the watermelon thing's not going to work.
It would, you just scream it.
Watermelon.
See?
Welcome to the hotel,
All right, if you're into
watermelon.
that metal stuff, explain that Viking guy walking down the road. at
That's
that
techno
depth.
Viking. That's not metal.
Techno Viking.
That guy's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's a guy high on who knows what, just jamming out to his own world. He looks like he should belong to Amon Amarth or some, Norwegian black metal band, but no, he's just a dude rocking out at like some Berlin rave.
That's where I like to do my rocking out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been dubbed Techno Viking by the internet because he looks like a Viking. He's got his shirt off, like he's massive, and he's just raving out. So it's basically Techno Viking.
The best is when somebody hands him a bottle of water and he takes a drink and then chucks the water bottle.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's like, he gives 0 Fs.
Such a face.
Anyway.
All right, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to do the metal work, and then they'll be good enough. I love the poses, though. I don't know if you guys can see. This guy here is drinking, of course. Why wouldn't he be drinking?
That's a horn. He's blowing it.
No. Oh, maybe it is. God, don't let facts ruin a good story. I'm gonna paint that to be, you know what? I'm gonna paint that to be exactly like product placement time. My official Games Workshop Bugman Brewers mug that I used to hold my paints from Nottingham.
Made in Taiwan.
Probably.
From the Philippines.
And I just drank some water from my Nestle Pure Life water, which really is tap water from Waterloo, Ontario. My wife, for some reason, won't drink the tap water here, but will drink a city that's got worse tap water and pay for the honor.
Well, as Gary will tell you, bottled water is nothing but a tax on the middle classes.
This tax on the stupid. Come on, Gary. Show us some product placement. He's not even there.
He's too busy lining his quinoa up. Softly poaching his quail's eggs.
He's got one of those cigarette holders like Terry Thomas.
Yep.
Hard cheese, old boy. Hard cheese. I can just imagine Gary sitting back in his bathrobe and a pipe, painting his Austrian.
I'm not even sure he wears a bathrobe.
Well, let's keep this somewhat PG-13. Let's imagine he is in a bathrobe.
The Obi-Wan bathrobe.
Mm-hmm. These look quite bright now, but I mean, once I put Army Painter dark tone on them, it should bring it down. Nice and dirty Highlanders.
I meant to take a picture of the wall in one of the places I was eating in Dorset for you, Matt.
The wall?
Yeah. Yeah, the first restaurant we went to was owned by a Scottish guy, and on the wall was the Clan Campbell heraldry.
Nice. See, if I'd gone there, you'd probably give me free drinks.
It was in Dorset, so I wouldn't have thought so.
You're talking
Here in
about
Ottawa.
Scotsman
Here in Ottawa,
giving
there's
free
a guy
drinks.
who runs a like a Masonic temple or something. It's like a church, I guess. And one of the local gaming groups, they play in that basement. And it's kind of like a Legion. I don't know. Bob, do you guys have Legions in the States? I guess no.
Yes.
You would have what's called the VA Hall, right? Or
No, we have both VFW and American Legion.
okay, so in Canada we have this thing called the Legion, which is basically just retired army guys go to drink their faces off.
Yep.
So, anyways, this guy where we have had Flames of War tournaments at has this basement under this church, and you get there and it's all Scottish football banners, flags everywhere. Like there's just everything under the sun. You just wouldn't expect it in Ottawa.
Can I just interject here that Scottish football is a contradiction in terms?
Get it out, Gary. Come on.
Get out.
I said get it out. What's your point?
The point
Scottish
is
football
that
is
the
a
Scots
mixture of
they can't play football, James.
Scottish football is a mixture of football, rugby, bigotism, sectarianism, and
Fighting.
and lack of
Yeah.
intelligence. I think it's the
Yeah, that's the bits I like.
So it wouldn't surprise me if it was a Masonic place, and he had
No.
certain teams.
Is the guy called Sinclair by any chance?
How would I know?
Well, because that's the primary family of the Scottish Masonic movement, are the Sinclairs.
I had no idea of any. I just see, for me, I thought it was odd that there was the two together, but now that you're saying that now it's all making sense.
We have MLS.
Yeah, but
Well, you've got the Jack
But that's
DeMolay societies
that-
as well, haven't you?
but that's like saying MLS. Yeah, that's like saying yeah. So here in the Dutch Ice Hockey League, we've got Feyenoord versus Rotterdam. Well, guess what? These Scottish dudes are pretty much done. Well, they're done until I'm going to put Army Painter Strong Shade available at all your fine hobby establishments.
That's just wrong. Just wrong.
Not to be confused with Draken Shade, available from all crap Games Workshop stores.
You did watch the video last. You did watch it last week, didn't you, Dennis?
I did. I told you I did. I couldn't make it, but I
Good
watched it.
product
Like, I watched it later, and I was laughing my ass.
Because you're worth it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah.
All right, and on that note, it's 6 p.m. I gotta go get something to eat, and I gotta run some errands. So that's it for me, fellas.
All right,
Actually,
Jay, see you, man.
Take care.
See ya. He did watch it.
See, the Canadian asks permission to leave.
He does. Very polite. Very polite young
Like
man.
these damn rebellious colonial types.
No, I always say goodbye. I always say I gotta go.
You do, Bob. You do, Bob. No, the Canadians asked, do you mind if we go to Dieppe? We could probably help out a little bit there. With the enfilading fire, the massive casualties.
Yeah, because there are some people on here who just like disappear.
Yep.
Mm.
But that's okay. Everybody cry sometime.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Falchetti is now doing Vegas.
And Jamesy has left the building. So I see that the battle group guys are going to be doing Market Garden soon. as a book. And
Oh, are they really?
yeah, Plastic Soldier Company have said that they're gonna be doing the 250 half tracks in 15mm and 20mm.
Are they going to do the rubber dinghies the Poles used
Don't know.
to try and get across the river?
Well, Plastic Soldier
No.
Company, despite the name, have started doing metal 20mm World War II stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, they
Because I
have.
think they've done some DAC and some 8th Army.
Just wondering if they'll have a Gene Hackman figure playing the Polish commander.
My dinner for you downstairs in the light room.
What's the line? Yes, but what are the Germans doing?
Have they released those yet, James?
Not sure.
The PSCs? Big.
I thought they had the German ones, but I'm really not sure. Just interests me because they're I got some of their 50mm metal artillery command guys that they did for their 25-pounders box set, and they were really nice figure. They were a little bit out of scale for Flames of War, a little bit bigger than the Flames figures, not out of scale, just bigger. But they were really nice models. I'd be interested to see if they do more metal in the future.
Yeah, that is pretty neat that they're doing that.
Yeah, especially because Battlefront are doing the soft plastic stuff, and to be honest, the soft plastic stuff I've seen at the moment, I know it's early days for the technology, but it's really poor.
Oh, what they're doing, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing their 15mm infantry using this different plastic, and it means that they can make it a lot cheaper, but at the same time the facial details and stuff are just totally missing on the miniatures.
Yeah, and soft plastic at that scale doesn't. Seems like it would be brutal.
What I like about 172 scale is you can still paint the moustaches on them.
Yeah, but that plastic can be pretty poor as well, can't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, some figures are better than others, but some beautiful sculpts going on here by Svezka and Italeri and Eski, and you can paint moustaches on the troops, and you can see it.
Yeah, I
from a certain
think if you
distance.
go that route, the two companies that are the best are Caesar and Italiari by far.
Okay, that's him done. One last Brunswicker.
Oh, excuse me. What am I doing?
I did a cane.
I'm running out of steam. I've just discovered that when I was doing the wash on stuff last night, I missed bits, and I've not painted the manes and the tails on these horses. Horsey, horsey, don't you stop. That was a Deacon Blue one, was it not?
I don't think so. I don't think
Obviously,
so.
don't you stop.
It's not on the Deacon Blue albums I've got. Deacon Blue were a Scottish band in the late 80s to early 90s.
My Lovely Horse, that was one of theirs.
No, it fecking wasn't.
My lovely.
Horse going over the hill. Nah, that was Father Ted, James, as you well know.
Where are you going with your fetlocks blowing in the wind?
I want to shower you with sugar lumps. Yeah, yeah.
And take you to the horse dentist, which is a genius line.
Oh dear.
Anyway, I was interested in the idea of them, of Plastic Soldier doing the 250 half tracks, the new version, rather than the other one that they've done, which is the alt version. Because it means I can do yet more Flames of War armies.
I want to know how you sold the idea of the tank museum to your wife. What was the opening gambit? What was the line? You're a bit bored today, love. I tell you what, let's take you out.
Nah, it was initially the weekend that we were looking at going was the weekend that the Tank Fest thing was on, which was that weekend past. So I had said
Tank Fest.
Yeah, so I had said I would be interested in doing that as a birthday present, but then when we discovered we couldn't get accommodation for that week, we scrapped it, but the visit to the Tank Museum remained on the cards. To be fair, generally she's okay as long as I don't go overboard in my requests to go geeky places. But like I said, I've got a cunning plan. All I have to do is I just
have a plan, my lord, that's so cunning.
No. This one works 9 times out of 10. I say to her, "So what do you want to do today?" And she says, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
And I say, "Are you sure there's nothing you want to do?" And she says, "I really don't have any ideas. What do you want to do?" And then I go, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
there is a museum that I quite fancy."
This is a plan so cunning it could have been written by a professor of cunning who was a fox at Oxford.
Yeah. A plan so cunning
which is how I get away with it as well.
It couldn't possibly fail twice. I have to say, though, that the worst one of the whole holiday was I had said that I really fancied, because it was the Jurassic Coast, I really fancied going fossil hunting. That's one of the things that was on the list of stuff I wanted to do. And she was a bit cagey about this, and I had done some searching about, and I found that Lyme Regis was apparently the place to go, and that there was a fossil hunting tour that day. So I booked us on it, paid the money over the phone, booked us on it, and then told her I've booked us on a fossil hunting tour. And she was like, right. And I was like, it's 3 hours. And she didn't speak to me for an hour.
Oh dear. Okay, well that's a bonus.
The time it took to drive there, I don't think she said a word to me.
Mm-hmm. So this is the Mary Anning tour on the Jurassic Coast. The one who found the plesiosaur, which is in the British Museum. Who the rhyme "she sells seashells on the seashore" is. I'm surprised I got that one out actually. That's what it's written, Ben.
So I found, amongst other things, this little thing here.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
And the rock. Well, else have we got? This charming piece of rock, which you can see the pattern on in the end. It's actually like a shell that would have gone on the end of a squid.
Or a worm.
It's like 300 million years old or something. These ones were really cool because these are fossilized in ironstone, so they actually look like they're made of brass. Again, about as old as you, Gary.
Unsubscribe.
And this is a bit of fossilized plant stock.
Just like you, Jamesy.
Yep. I'm just plant stock, I'm not fossilized yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So I found a few other bits and bobs. The most boring was fossilized wood, which is what that is.
Which isn't that old.
Well, that stuff's as old as the shell fossils, because the reason that they break the fossilized wood up when they find it is that the driftwood could sink to the bottom and then other debris get washed up against it and then the whole thing gets fossilized together. So whenever they found any stones that had fossilized wood in them, they would smash them up in the off chance that there might be other fossils in the concretion, or whatever it is they call it.
I think you're right there.
But I think we both actually enjoyed the tour.
Well, they get such interesting people to do it. That's the thing, you know. You know, go to the Globe Theatre in London, you know, that London, and somebody tells you about the 250 phrases that Shakespeare introduced to the English language, for example, as they do. And it's just nice to get out and about and hear people talking about things that are around you that you're not quite usually aware of.
Well, it was a really lovely sunny day, nice week, all week, and apparently it was the worst possible weather to go fossil hunting in.
Needs a bit of rain, doesn't it, to bring the cliffs down?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. You really need to go after a storm when the weather's
Bit of
been
lightning.
bad.
Bit of lightning. Bring it all down.
Yeah.
Preferably with some cubs and brownies sitting underneath having a jamboree. That's what we want. I mean, I don't usually go there because it's not a beach to me. There's no sand. It's pebbles.
Oh, there was sand there.
The beaches to me are in the north. Yeah, well, round Regis there are, yeah. But most south coast, no way. It's not a beach.
That was interesting. I'm not sure I think if I had just gone for a wander on my own, like without doing it on a tour, I don't think I would have found anything because I wouldn't have really known what I was looking for.
Right.
Did you find a Sherman tank on the
No,
beach?
that's in Devon. Anyway, if I had found one on the beach, I don't think Amy would have let me bring it home.
You'd have to rebase it
I know.
and repaint it.
Repaint it. That would be the
Put some
whole.
stowage on it.
That would be the real nuisance. Would be rebasing it and basing it and.
No, my wife surprised me the other night. I was talking about the practice D-Day landings, and she told me exactly the name of the beaches where it happened, and the fact that was so many E-boats had killed those young American sailors. I was gobsmacked.
Slapton Sands.
That's the one. She knew all about it.
And they'll probably never know how many servicemen actually died.
Bride knows about all kinds of stuff. You just got to listen to her.
Yeah. So now Bob starts doing a relate series on MMA. Gary, have you talked to your wife recently? How did you first meet? And what was the first attraction? You have children? Yeah, I do, Bob, yeah. What do you think about the children? Well, they're okay, you know.
This is the voice of experience here, obviously.
Yeah, well, I've been to relate.
The man who's been to every councillor in London.
Labour and Tory. Liberal and radical. I go that far back. Whig and Tory.
Damn dog, shut up.
And take me to the horse dentist. Lovely, lovely, lovely horse.
See, you do know music.
That's a classic, though.
Be back in 1 sec, guys.
Scratchy mic. It is just a nuisance when you're trying to make things look random.
No, it's an art, isn't it?
It's like painting 4 horses, 4 sets of manes, 4 sets of tails. Don't feel like I can actually use the same 2 colours on any of the 4 of them because there's only 4 of them, so that wouldn't be random enough.
You're not doing the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, are you?
5.
5.
Yeah.
Death, famine, plague, and the other one.
Ronnie Soak.
That's him. Followed by the death of rats.
Time to get the band back together.
You know they do plays now of Terry Pratchett novels.
No.
Yeah, they do. I went to Richmond just the other week, and they were doing soul music.
Cool. I think I've seen that
Which was
advertised
incredible.
actually somewhere.
It's very good. It's very good.
I don't think I've spoken to you since I went, but I went to see that Kinren thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if you've
Oh,
heard
the one
of
in
it.
Durham,
Yeah,
which is sort of history of Anglo-Saxon England and
supposed.
Celtic England. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, my brother's been to see that. He said it was very good.
production values were excellent. Cast were excellent. Special effects were excellent. Grasp of history was absolutely appalling.
Mhm.
It's feisty to
Sadly,
say
I
I
don't
won't
think
go in.
they're interested in that bit. That's where
Yeah,
it lets it down. Because
well, that's the thing
I've
about-
read what my brother said about this one. I said, yeah, exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
How are you, lad?
It was there was the politics elements which I'll save for off the chat, but
Yeah.
it certainly gave the impression that Bodisha or Bodesha, whatever your pronunciation is, had
Boudica this week.
Yeah, had chased the Romans off English shores. That the Battle of Hastings was only won because the brave English king was shot in the eye by a treacherous Frenchman who was on a boat at the time.
Which is complete and utter bollocks, yeah.
What else was there? They made a big thing about the Scottish are coming and Robert the Bruce is coming, and then thankfully they defeated, I think, the Scottish army in battle, which again is a pile of nonsense.
Don't forget the lion outside Alnwick Castle that wags its tail every time a Scotsman crosses the border. Didn't you know about that one?
No. I'm trying to think what else there was that struck me as being... It was just things like... There was just loads of stuff that was just really off. Women and children beating the Vikings. Defeating the Vikings. All stuff like that. I think I might have described it as British nationalist hogwash, basically. But couldn't fault the production values.
No, I mean that's what my family say as well about it. It's really well done, but it's just pish.
Yeah. The history just wasn't right. And to top it all, to just especially get my back up, they ended it with the main, or one of the characters declaring, "This is the story of us, this is our England," and then they unfurled a massive Union flag.
Ah, right, okay.
Like, wrong flag, mate.
I'd like to apologise to the rest of our viewers that at this point James was arrested. And rightly so. And I appreciate that you would do such a thing anyway, because that's bloody right on, mate. It's like saying at this point, Audie Murphy was introduced to the rest of the American audience as a non-native American.
Yeah, just that particular element really put my back up. But at the same time, I wouldn't tell someone not to go and see it, because it was a really good show. Really.
No, that's what I've heard as well. You know, it's a good show to see, and you know, it's got all the bells and whistles and gets people out there and gets them interested in stuff. But yeah, it's not accurate. But if it gets people reading and doing something about it, fair enough.
I think since it's just the three of us, I think we'll call it quits at this point.
Aye.
On the live one?
Yeah. It's been an hour or so, I think. So, cool. Well, until next time, next Tuesday probably. Thanks for watching if you've got this far, and we'll catch you later.